You tell yourself that next time will be different, that this time you'll choose better, you'll act smarter, you'll avoid the same mistake. But weeks pass, months pass, and somehow you're right back where you started. Same patterns, same outcomes, same regrets. And you begin to wonder if something is wrong with you. But here's the truth most people never consider. The reason you keep making the same bad decisions isn't a lack of intelligence or discipline. It's a spiritual blind spot. A blind spot is dangerous because you don't see it, you don't feel it clearly, you only experience the consequences. And in your life, those consequences show up as repeated choices that don't serve you. Staying too long, quitting too early, trusting the wrong people, avoiding the right actions. On the surface, it looks like bad judgment. Beneath the surface, it's misalignment. Every decision you make is filtered through your inner state, not your logic, not your knowledge, your inner state. When your spirit is calm and aligned, decisions feel clear. When your inner world is unstable, decisions feel rushed, emotional, or confusing. You may think you're choosing freely, but most of the time, you're reacting. The first reason you repeat bad decisions is this: you confuse emotional relief with truth. When something eases your anxiety, soothes your loneliness, or temporarily quiets your fear, it feels right. But relief is not wisdom. Relief is just pressure escaping. Spiritually, this is one of the most common traps. You don't choose what's aligned. You choose what feels lighter in the moment. That's why you go back to situations you already know are wrong for you. They feel familiar, predictable, comfortable. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar growth, and your spirit, when untrained, will always choose comfort over clarity. Until you learn to sit with discomfort without escaping it, your decisions will keep looping. The second blind spot is noise. Your inner world is loud. Thoughts overlap, emotions interrupt, external opinions flood in, and in noise, clarity cannot survive. You don't hear intuition when everything inside you is shouting. You call it overthinking, but spiritually, it's a lack of inner silence. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is signal. It's where discernment lives. Without it, decisions become impulsive or delayed. You either act too fast or wait too long. Both are forms of avoidance. When your mind is noisy, you don't choose, you react, and reaction always repeats patterns. The third reason you repeat bad decisions is uncomfortable to hear. You are loyal to an old version of yourself. You say you want change, but deep down, you protect the identity that feels familiar, the one that knows how to survive, the one that knows its role. Decisions are not just choices, they are identity statements. Every time you choose what you've always chosen, you're saying, "This is who I am," and changing decisions requires letting go of an identity that once kept you safe. Spiritually, this feels like loss. Even when growth is waiting, your system resists because growth demands a new self, and the old self fights to stay alive. The fourth blind spot is fear disguised as logic. You tell yourself you're being realistic, careful, rational. But look closer. Is it logic, or is it fear wearing a convincing mask? Fear speaks quietly. It doesn't scream. It whispers reasons, excuses, delays. It sounds responsible, but it keeps you small. Spiritually aligned decisions don't always feel safe. They feel honest. They feel clean. Fear-based decisions feel heavy, tense, and urgent. If you learn to feel the emotional texture of your choices, you'll notice the difference. One expands your chest, the other tightens it. Your body knows before your mind admits it. The fifth blind spot is disconnection from consequence. When you make a decision, you focus on how it feels now, not where it leads. Spiritually mature people think in trajectories, not moments. They ask, "Who does this choice turn me into?" Immature decision-making asks only, "How does this make me feel today?" This is why you repeat cycles. You don't zoom out. You don't pause long enough to see the pattern forming, and without awareness, the pattern repeats. Conscious decisions require distance, space, reflection. Without that, you live inside the moment, and the moment always lies. So how do you remove the blind spot? You don't do it by thinking harder, you do it by slowing down. Before major decisions, create space, silence, ask better questions. Not what should I do, but what is this decision feeding inside me? Fear, ego, growth, avoidance. Train yourself to delay emotional decisions. If you feel rushed, pressured, or desperate, wait. Aligned decisions feel steady, even when they're difficult. They don't beg you to act immediately. They wait patiently for you to see clearly. Another shift is learning to tell the truth to yourself, brutally, quietly, without drama. Name patterns. Write them down. Every time I feel rejected, I do this. Every time I feel uncertain, I choose this. Patterns lose power when exposed to awareness. Darkness survives in vagueness. Clarity destroys it. Finally, understand this. Repeated bad decisions are not failures. They are signals. They show you where growth is being resisted, where healing is incomplete, where awareness is still forming. Your task is not to judge yourself, but to see yourself clearly. When your spirit becomes calm, decisions slow down. When your inner world stabilizes, choices sharpen. You stop repeating because you start seeing, and once you see, you can't unsee. The blind spot disappears, not because life becomes easier, but because you become clearer. Remember this, your life is not shaped by one big decision. It's shaped by the same decision repeated over time. Change the decision and the pattern breaks. Change the inner state and the decisions follow. You don't need to become smarter, you need to become more aware. And awareness begins the moment you stop asking why life keeps happening to you and start asking what your choices are teaching you about yourself. If this message resonated with you, don't let it end here. Subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of clarity, alignment, and growth. If this video helped you see yourself more clearly, leave a like. It tells the algorithm this message matters. And most importantly, share your story in the comments. What situation in your life keeps repeating? What decision feels unclear right now? You're not alone in this. Sometimes awareness begins the moment you put your truth into words.